My boss hired 2 interns to replace me and asked me to train them after they planned to fire me. Before we dive into the story, this story was posted on MaliciousCompliance subreddit. Details in the description below. If you like to listen more Reddit stories, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon. Let's jump into the story. I'm going to start out by saying that English is not my first language, and I wasn't sure that this story belongs here as this is my first time posting. I used to work in media intelligence, which is a really niche market in the country that I am from. I started as an assistant and learnt everything from scratch as I switched from the hospitality industry. Pretty big step, I know. I was eager to learn, and was really interested in what they do as I was trying to get into media back then. First of all, as I learnt everything from scratch, I got really good at what I do after just 6 months working there. I was in a 3-person team and I had one of the best bosses, and a really good colleague which were veterans in the industry. Both of them helped me a lot to get me where I am then. They left the company after just a year there, as upper management was just plain hot garbage. The company had 4 changes in direction within a year and it was stressing my team out. They did ask me to leave with them, but with me being young and naive trying to prove myself, I declined. The story, after my boss and colleague left, it was just me and my team, and I was in charge of a few markets. I was asked to be on call for technical support and was not offered anything in return. At the time, I was pissed but also trying to prove myself. I obliged. I got really stressed out from working 13 hours a day for a few months at that point, and I kept asking my manager to hire more people as I can't be working like this and it's stressing me out. My manager went on and on, saying they don't have the budget for it, so I just forgot about it, drowning myself in work. One day, the CEO of the company came and we had dinner as he was growing close to me, since I was the only one person left who actually know the in and out of the old and new system that the company used. Keep in mind, this CEO is a cheapskate and will try all and every way to suck you dry. He asked me what I wanted to change in the company during dinner, so I started off with asking for 2 new hires for my team, where he gave me the same answer as my manager, so I asked him for a promotion and a raise, which was also declined, saying, "You don't have the necessary experience yet." I was mad. As a normal person would expect, after working 13 hours a day for months, you would need rest. I had almost 3 weeks of PTO saved, and I needed the rest. The manager threatened to fire me if I took any PTO as no one was able to do what I did. I took the PTO anyways. I got well rested and all was good until I came back. There were 2 new faces and I was pretty confused, so I asked my manager, who were they, and she told me they were my replacements. She told me my notice was 2 months and I had to train them before I leave. She couldn't do anything as I was the only one in the company who knew how to run the legacy and the new systems, so realistically she couldn't say that I was not training them properly as she didn't know how things work. Here is the part where the malicious compliance happens, since the manager did not know how things work. She told me to train the interns on the legacy systems, to know better on how the company was built up, and I did just that. She told me strictly to just train the interns on the legacy, and she will be dealing with the rest. Sure, I will do just that. It was until my last week when everything really hit the fan. My manager found out that I had been only giving training on the legacy system and I didn't give them my notes with tips on how to run the system that needed to be used for daily operations. My manager called in the CEO and the managing director to hold a meeting with me, asking me why I hadn't trained my replacements properly. I just told them I did what my manager told me to, which the manager denied, until I forwarded the CEO and MD the email that my manager has sent me, on which the call promptly ending. After I left the company, I was patiently waiting for the call that was bound to come. It was my manager. She demanded me to get back to work, and said that the firing was just a prank, blah blah blah. I told them, pay me triple my wage and I'll consider it. They called me crazy, and ended the call. It's been 2 months since that call, and based on a good friend from another department, my old manager is neck deep in this chaos. Update on the story. so I've gotten into contact with my EX colleagues. My EX manager is now exploring greener pastures, and the 2 interns quit after a bit. The company had to scrap the new system, where they spent a lot developing, and then had to buy out another company, specializing in system development and maintenance, which costed them $12 million. Guess who'd be able to run their systems cheaper? Top comment on the post. The firing was just a prank. Isn't it such a ridiculous thing to say? Let us know what you think of it in the comment sections below.